So I have a confession to make. I was wrong about next-gen consoles. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So yes guys, I was wrong about consoles. This generation consoles, last generation consoles, next generation consoles probably too. I mean all consoles really. Now why was I wrong? What was I wrong about really, right? Well, I was buying consoles for the wrong reasons. I was always looking at specs, performance, resolutions, graphics, details and all these fancy things, where in reality consoles are not that. And it took me a while to understand it, and especially with this generation, because this generation I really thought that this generation consoles like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will be able to hold up and keep up with PC space for a very long time, but looks like that's not really the case. And I'm not saying that consoles are weak, they are not. They are actually great for what they've been designed to do, right? I mean, playing games, yes, they may not be 4K, native 4K 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second and all that jazz, right? But at the end of the day, you know, this is a small box which is very small, quiet, and you know, it does what it says on the box, right? Plays games. And I've been really focusing on specs, and you know, it's understandable for me, I guess, because I'm a IT guy. I'm a little bit of a programmer. I've done a number of IT jobs in the past, so I'm interested in technology and that kind of stuff, graphics too. And that's why I've been always looking at you know, pretty much any gaming design, any gaming device from technical perspective, right? Because even though I love gaming, I really enjoy playing games, and you know, the most important thing is that games are good, not necessarily look good, but the games are good. But at the same time, I was always interested about, you know, what makes game look or run in a certain way and that kind of stuff. That's why I really enjoy Digital Foundry videos. I enjoy all kinds of interviews with developers where they explain things, and we all know that game development is actually one of the toughest job in the world when it comes to, you know, challenge, not necessarily physically, if you know what I mean, but when it comes to challenge and problem solving and that kind of stuff. I am a little bit of a programmer myself. At work I do, not like game programmer, I just write simple programs. So it's not the same level like a game programmer, but like even a corporate programmer that makes that programs databases or whatever, right? It's a totally different level to what these game programmers have to do, because they really have to tackle a lot of problems. It's not a copy-paste job, if you know what I mean, right? So it is what it is. But let's go back to the consoles, and I guess let's introduce PC to this conversation, because, like, you know, I've been playing on PC for like over 20, I guess even more, 30 years, I guess. Well, it depends how you look at it, because if you consider Amiga, a PC, as a computer with a keyboard and mouse, I guess even longer, right? So probably around 30 years now. But so I've always been familiar to PC and a computer, and I've owned many PCs, I've built many PCs, and etc. etc. So that's why I've always been interested in technical aspect of everything. I've been, graphics cards, CPUs, and overclocking them and stuff. So that's why I have always been interested in what consoles actually do bring to the table every single generation, right? And I kind of enjoy not necessarily the toxic console wars, but I do enjoy the console wars in a sense that these companies compete. They I always like to compare what two different companies come up with, and even though this generation is kind of boring when it comes to technology, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but like especially not even last generation, but previous generations, the interesting part was that like these consoles would be totally different. Like I guess the best generation when it comes to totally different approach to gaming was I don't know which generation that was, fifth generation I think, or maybe sixth. So PlayStation 2 generation, where you had PlayStation 2, which Sony made its own custom chips with Toshiba and some other Japanese companies. Then you had Xbox with a pretty much PC kind of specs and technology inside, and then you had Nintendo, which was using PowerPC and some what was it? I forgot the name of the chip, but it doesn't matter right now. Actually, Nintendo did use ATI chip. So ATI is, well, AMD owns ATI now. Like ATI was integrated into AMD because AMD used to be only a CPU company, and they bought ATI, so the GPU kind of company, and now they offer both GPU and CPUs, right? So it was interesting. Like it was totally different approach and like totally different boxes. But now, like everything runs on a PC parts. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you. So, okay, but like, what about these consoles? What was I wrong about? Well, I was wrong about looking at these consoles from like technical perspective, and I guess I had too much of an expectations from all of these consoles, especially Xbox, but PlayStation 2. I did not expect that these consoles would actually age that fast, and I know that we still haven't gotten to like a proper this generation games yet and stuff, but you know what, I don't think developers will be able to really change the way games look or play or whatever, right? Like even with these super fast SSDs and machine learning and everything, I just don't think that's going to happen. You know, maybe possibly we may see like when all these games will start using every single bit of technology in these consoles, maybe towards the end of the generation, like in 2027, we may see something interesting. But still, the raw power is not going to be there to push these games to its limits, and these games will look much better on PC. And that's why I realized, like after playing with PCs, and I finally invested a little bit more money into PC earlier this year. So I built myself a decent PC, not the fastest ones, but decent enough to really offer a much better performance and better graphics and everything than these consoles. And like I just basically kind of chilled out a little bit, basically, when it comes to consoles. Not sure if you noticed, I started posting some retro news and everything. Like now I own Xbox 360 Elite with 120 gigabytes hard drive. I bought PlayStation 3 a couple of days ago, and you know what? I really enjoy these consoles for what they are, games on these consoles. I've been dabbling with the retro gaming a little bit recently as well, because I don't necessarily look at pixels, and yeah, I mean, some of these games just don't look that good anymore, but they are still fun to play. And if you just forget about all these technical nonsense, then yeah, these games are still great. Like I've been playing Ratchet & Clank recently. Yes, on PlayStation 3 in 1080p 60. Yeah, I still look a little bit at that technical aspect of it. So if I've got a choice, I will go where the game plays best. So instead of playing PlayStation 2 version in 480p 30 frames per second, I decided to go with PlayStation 3 Ratchet & Clank HD collection, which offers 3 games in a one bundle. I bought like $25 for it, and all these games are 1080p 60 frames per second, and they play great, they look great, and they are just super fun. And there's other collections like that on PlayStation 3 that's great. So basically what you will see from me moving forward, even on this channel, a lot of console coverage, of course, but I will not be so frustrated by, for example, a game not delivering this or that. I will just basically report this as a fact, and I will tell you, you know what, guys, if you want a better performance, play on PC. And I'm not trying to sell you a PC gaming at all. I know that PC gaming comes with its own sort of issues, and I mean, hey, PC gaming is a beautiful thing when everything works, right? But there's some issues here and there with well, I'm not really going to get into that. Maybe I'll make a video about it one day, who knows. But yeah, I mean, you know what, I just thought to myself, you know what, like I will still cover like some bigger technical news, new features, if a particular technology is going to be used and what sort of impact it will have on games and everything. But it's going to be from more layout kind of a perspective, you know what I mean? Layout or lay down, I don't know. It's actually late in the evening. I've done some manual work recently, so I'm a bit tired, so I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I'm just joking, of course. That's just my English, right? I don't really know every single kind of word, and some play of words, I may use them in a wrong way. But anyway, so like I said, when it comes to consoles, I will have more relaxed basically approach to it. I won't be looking at these consoles only from tech perspective. It just doesn't make sense, and I'm kind of even burnt out on like pushing this power narrative when it comes to one console or the other. And like, to be honest with you, right now when you look at the games, like these consoles actually exchange blows. Like there's one game that runs better and looks better on PlayStation, there's another game that looks and runs better on Xbox, but the differences are not that really great. And to be honest with you, when you play these games, you don't really see a difference unless Digital Foundry will tell you. So I think I'm kind of more happy because of that. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to the latest games, I will be playing most of these games on PC because they will offer me the best performance, graphics, well, unless the game will be broken on PC. That happens sometimes as well. But other than that, I will just enjoy consoles for what they are. I'm not moving away from consoles. I really enjoy consoles, really, because of thanks to the ease of use and everything. And physical media, guys, I bought like Uncharted trilogy recently for like I think 50 zlotys, which is like $12, right? Like you can buy these games very cheap. I mean, they are cheap on PlayStation Store and Xbox Live too. I'm talking about these older titles. By the way, I really enjoy Xbox and what they do with backwards compatibility, how these older titles actually look and plays on Xbox now. That's fantastic stuff as well. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening on the channel. That's what my I guess approach to gaming news is going to be different. I'll be talking about more games, and I guess you kind of noticed that already. I've been covering more kind of gaming news rather than tech news, unless something big happens, like PlayStation 4 specs or PlayStation 5 Pro specs, right? So yeah, so that's the new approach, new MaDz, I guess, and we'll see how that goes. So I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate all support, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.